When it comes to the Avengers, there are many different superheroes who have been on the roster that we consider powerhouses. But among those powerhouse members, one great question remains. Just who is the most powerful? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda McKnight, aka VampX13, and today I will aim to answer this question for once and for all. Let me know who you consider to be the most powerful member of the Avengers of all time in the comments below. And a friendly reminder to keep in mind, there have been many who have been given Avenger status over the years, so just tuck that at the back of your brain. Before she got somewhat nerfed for some reason, I would have argued that Photon, or Spectrum as she's also been known, aka the hero Monica Rambeau, would be up there as one of the most powerful Avengers we've ever seen. Like some of the others in the running that we'll be considering in this video for the top spot, Monica was for a brief time team leader as well. Her powers came from extra-dimensional energy that she was exposed to when she used her hands to destroy an energy disruptor device during her time working as a captain for the New Orleans Harbor Patrol. Her newfound powers allowed her to turn into any type of energy imaginable. She could also channel energy emitted in the form of powerful blasts and boost the attacks of her fellow heroes by infusing them with energy. For a time, she also possessed cosmic awareness and even was considered immortal while in her energy form. Lately, she hasn't appeared to be quite as strong, and I'm not even sure if we still consider her immortal, but either way, I'd still consider Monica's energy-based powers to be some of the greatest out there, considering that she is not tied to one type of energy and can even transform only parts and not all of her body into energy due to her experience. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, be sure to show us that you love us by clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any good nerdy content. Some might consider Iron Man as a top contender for most powerful Avenger due to his genius, which allows Tony Stark to build suits of armor for almost every occasion and emergency scenario you could think of. During Null's invasion of Earth in the King in Black event, Iron Man would go on to create a suit of armor that wasn't even fully technological, showing how flexible and resourceful he could be in almost any situation. This suit was known as the Extremebiote and combined the techno-organic Extremis virus with one of Null's dragon symbiotes. Initially, Tony had tried to use the Extremis virus to reprogram the DNA of the symbiote, thereby severing its connection to Null so that he might use it to save the life of fellow hero Eddie Brock. This failed as the symbiote's connection was not successfully severed, but after Dylan Brock was able to sever the symbiote's ties, Iron Man was actually able to gain full control of it and use the symbiote as part of his Extremebiote armor. So it didn't work in saving Eddie, but hey, he got some cool armor out of it. In recent years, Tony has also used his genius combined with found celestial tech to create Celestial Hulkbuster. However, this armor ended up being destroyed by Thor. If we're considering Tony to be in the running for the most powerful Avenger title, then I think it's only fair that we mention another Avenger who I would deem Tony's equal. If not, honestly, his better. King T'Challa of Wakanda, aka Black Panther. I know this is gonna be a controversial point, but hey, I just think Black Panther's better overall. Sorry, Iron Man fans. The thing that makes Black Panther stand out is that he is not only a genius, but also has fighting prowess and strength, and like Tony, is also extremely wealthy. Not only that, but he also typically comes with a ton of influence as well as King of Wakanda, when he's serving as king, that is, and isn't like, being hunted in his own country, but hey. We're talking about in general, we're talking about generalizations here, where they're at right now in the comics. Captain Marvel is definitely one of the greatest powerhouses on the team. Currently in the comics, she's actually the team leader, not just a powerful superhero in terms of her cosmic abilities, but also a powerful leader who was voted into the role by her peers, as was revealed at the beginning of the newest Avengers series. I would definitely say we need to consider Captain Marvel as a top contender for the most powerful Avenger out there. When it comes to Captain Marvel's abilities, Carol initially got her powers in the comics from exposure to an exploding Psyche Magnetron, which granted her wish to be as powerful as her hero/mentor/former love, Kree hero Mar-Vell, the original Captain Marvel. Over the years, however, this version of the story was somewhat downplayed as we learned that Carol actually was also part Kree, with her mom, Marielle, secretly being a Kree captain who was basically sent to Earth to get close to the humans and bear a hybrid child with one of them. Hulk often boasts of being the strongest there is, and if we're comparing him to everyone else who has come before on this list, even Tony with his Celestial Hulkbuster, and even the cosmic power of Carol, who it's been established in the comics he could easily beat in a one-on-one fight, I would say, that's true. He's the strongest there is to this point. However, there are those who might be able to influence him using other means, and just because he has the biggest muscles doesn't mean he's always the most powerful Avenger in the room. Hulk can smash, I'll give him that, and there aren't many who can stand up against him, but I'll wager Invisible Woman could be one of the few out there. Now this is based on the fact that I've seen her threaten her opponent's life with her powers without needing to do really much of anything. She just kind of, look, I could just do this and then you're done. Invisible Woman can create force fields and shields, and she can use them to do things like pop your head and burst your brain if she wanted to. While Hulk's rage knows no bounds, if Invisible Woman was feeling particularly rage-filled, I think she'd be even more of a threat. Along with her husband, Mr. Fantastic, Sue had a period where she left the Fantastic Four and for a brief time during the late 80s joined up with the Avengers team, becoming a part-time member, in case you forgot. Oddly enough, I feel like Scarlet Witch is always forgotten when it comes to these kinds of lists where we talk about powerful Avengers. I don't know why either, really. Wanda's an extremely powerful member of the Avengers, who also for a while was a team leader. Not surprising when you consider how much of a tank she is. Lately in the comics, Scarlet Witch has really been coming into her power, no longer allowing herself to be tormented by her past. So now she warps reality and also doesn't carry the heavy burden of guilt, which I think makes her even more powerful and in charge, to be honest. It's possible that Scarlet Witch, with her chaos magic, now also channeling the power of Chthon, who remains imprisoned within the Darkhold inside her, is the most powerful Avenger of all time, especially if we're considering the now. Considered one of the most powerful heroes in general, especially given his god and sometimes even all-father status, is Thor. Let's remember that Thor was the one who destroyed Iron Man's celestial Hulkbuster suit, which is honestly pretty wild. Thor is also currently being elevated and redefined as a character right now thanks to the current Immortal Thor comic, so I mean it's a great time for Thor fans. While I want to say that Wanda could take him after the events of Immortal Thor, I'm honestly not sure that that will be possible. It's like a very good time for both those heroes, so it's hard for me to put one above the other, but there we go. Ex Nihilo is a character that we don't often talk about on the channel, probably because he hasn't been seen in the comics since, well, 2015. And you know, he's also dead, I believe, after sacrificing himself when the Avengers faced the Beyonders. However, he could also be alive somewhere out there in the cosmos after the events of Secret Wars being recreated when the entire multiverse was rebuilt, 2015 Secret Wars that is. Ex Nihilo has the power to create entire worlds. He can create and manipulate matter, also affecting its growth by manipulating time as well to an extent. The ability to create on the scale he is capable of makes him one of the most powerful card-carrying members to have existed, whether or not he exists today. While Nihilo has the power to create worlds, Strange has demonstrated in the past having the power to destroy them. I mean, here's the thing. Doctor Strange could probably beat everyone on this list with the right writer. He has magic, and I feel like at the end of the day, magic reigns supreme. For me, it's a really tough pick between these last few superheroes we've discussed. I could see Thor, Ex Nihilo, or Strange being considered as the most powerful member of the Avengers team. Even Wanda could honestly be in the running, considering her newfound power and sense of self-worth, but at the end of the day, Doctor Strange just has more knowledge and more skill, I think, as a magic user. Doctor Strange is not often thought of when we think of the Avengers team because, well, he hasn't been featured on the main roster, okay? But he has been a part of spin-off Avengers teams, and he's actually a reserve member for the main team, who is sometimes called in. He's also offered assistance from time to time as sort of a consultant for many teams, including the Avengers. I think ultimately Doctor Strange is simply too powerful and like kind of too busy as Sorcerer Supreme to really be a main roster member for the Avengers team. But maybe one day we'll see the strongest Avenger join that main roster. I know I'd love to see it. I'd love to see an Avengers team led by Doctor Strange. That would be interesting. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on who the strongest Avenger is. If you agree or if you disagree, be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.